everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we have a Patreon book club update. So this is an update I have been wanting to make for a little while, but I really needed to figure out exactly how things were going to work after the move and the fact that Presley doesn't start school until September. I needed to really figure out how we're gonna get back on track. So I have a few updates. I have the new books for the rest of the year, and we're gonna talk about everything today. So the first thing that I wanted to just quickly go through is the fact that I do have bookmarks ready to be shipped out. I actually have backlogs of bookmarks because of the fact that we were getting ready to move and then we did move, and in general when you sign up for the bookmark tier, which is the highest tier that I have on my Patreon, you get the book club and everything else, but you also get a bookmark every single month. You get it like the next month. So in general, January's bookmark came sometime in February, February's bookmark came in March. I am backlogged for April, May, and June because May is when we were getting everything ready to move. So I didn't get April's done, and then it went from there. But I have them all ready. I wanted to show you here, share with you what I have. So for April, I have these. This is something that I actually picked up all the supplies for before we even moved. I just never found the time to actually put them together before I had to pack everything up. But basically, these are paint chips from Lowe's. And they're all in this like purpley blue color. And the reason they're like this is because they're actually all like space, sci-fi related titles of what the paint colors actually are, and I just thought that was so much fun. They are all slightly different in like the shapes that I went for here, but I did want to show, oh, Elliot's gonna show too, good job. So I didn't have any of the titles of the paint chips on the actual bookmark because I only got one paint chip per color. So the lightest color that we have is called A Stitch in Time. Then we have Moonlight Stroll, Blue Nebula, Best of Both Worlds, Cosmic Blue, Sky Space, Deep Universe, Times Current, and Deep Galaxy. Obviously this is under a little bit of my interpretation, but to me they all felt sci-fi-ish. And so basically our bookmark for April is sci-fi themed, but basically just like a mosaic of blue, which I personally love. They are laminated for you. Then moving into May's bookmark, one thing that I really wanted to do is some sort of crochet. I have not been crocheting for a while, mostly because I was doing the crochet bookworm, if anybody remembers, from last year, which I have not finished because I ended up crocheting some like Christmas presents for my kids and their cousins, my nieces and nephews. And I ended up giving myself like a crochet injury. I pulled a muscle in my chest area because of crochet. So I was not crocheting for a few months, and then we ended up moving. So I am still intending to finish that bookworm. It just has not happened yet because I really needed to take some time off to do that. But it is now way better, and I decided I am going to do crochet bookmarks every so often. So the ones that we have for May are here. I do have 4 of them because that is the amount of people currently getting bookmarks as of the time that these are supposed to be coming out. They're random colors, so you don't really know which one you're going to get yet, but they look like this. This is embroidery thread, so I used a very small crochet hook. This is like the smallest thing I have ever done crochet wise, because I did want it to be thin enough you could put it in a book without worrying about it like ruining the book, especially like if it's a paperback. I didn't want it to mess up like the spine of the book or anything. So this is what they look like. So we have this colorway. This is one of my favorite ones right here. It's like a muted blue and brown sort of colorway. We also have this sort of like pastel one, and this one, which I also thought was really cool. It's warmer colors. I'm not like the biggest warm color person, but I really like this. So this was a sort of like pattern thing that I just found on Instagram and adjusted it to my specifications. So basically I added stitches where I felt I needed a little bit more in between, and it does stretch a little bit too, so it'll definitely fit in multiple different sizes of books, and it's not too thick. So May's bookmark is a really nice fabric bookmark. It's crocheted, they're embroidery thread, they're very soft. I'm very excited for those. And then the last bookmark that we have is going to be for June so far. I know we're in July, but again, like I said, when you sign up for the bookmark tier, the bookmarks come a month later. So July's will come in August. I have not done those yet, but the June one is another one that I'm very excited for. I don't know if you guys are gonna be like super excited. We'll see. But I moved in June. I know, I've talked about it a lot. So I actually did illustrations on my Procreate. The front has Arizona with a saguaro cactus and like the sunset gradient. I actually think I did a really good job getting this simplified, but also it's definitely something that you would see in Arizona. And it's like a sunset because we moved from Arizona to Washington. It's a double-sided bookmark. This is Mount Rainier. This is actually a little bit traced off of a picture I took of Mount Rainier from my house, like you can see it, and then I did the illustration on top. I just wanted to get the actual like profile of the mountain correct. So that's what we have here. We have an Arizona to Washington bookmark to sort of celebrate the move. Those bookmarks will be coming out to the people that are on the bookmark tier this week. I'm going to be mailing them out. I just wanted to film this part first to let you know bookmarks are coming. This is what they are. They're on their way to you. So now let's talk about the actual book club stuff. So we are 3 months behind in the book club. We have not done a live show for April, May, or June, as makes sense. So this is one of those things where I need a little bit of opinions from you all, so everybody that is part of the actual book club tier, which is the sidekick and companion tiers. Companion tier is the one that also has the bookmarks, but I sort of would like to know what you would like for this. April's book was Minimum Wage Magic by Rachel Aaron. I'm actually in the middle of this one because I paused it when I knew I was moving and knew we weren't going to be able to do the book club right away. This is an urban fantasy sort of one. However, as I'm reading it, I'm also discovering it's also very much sort of like sci-fi, almost dystopian as well. It's a very interesting mix. This was our indie pick for the quarter of book club, and personally, I am really enjoying it. I would like to know if people are going to want to do an actual sit-down live show group chat sort of thing about these books, or if you don't know if you're going to be able to participate and would like more of like my review, and we can just do like a separate video that way because of the fact that we are 3 months behind. If we decide to do the live show group discussions, which I personally do love, I'm thinking we're not going to be able to start doing them until September. Presley doesn't start kindergarten until September, like 4th. I'm pretty sure it is. So because of that, I have 2 kids with me all day, every day. And finding time to even sit down and film like this is hard. They're both over here on phones right now because of the fact that I need to film this and edit today. We've been very busy with unpacking and getting things and doing stuff, like Presley's birthday's in 3 days. We're gonna go do something for him. We're just at that point where everything feels busy. So because of that, I don't think I'm gonna have a time to start doing live shows, reading sprints, things like that again until September. So we could do every other week starting in September. We do a book club sort of discussion thing where anybody who's read the book, or even if you DNF the book, because I know some people have DNF'd some of these books, which is perfectly legitimate because, as we'll discuss in a little bit, I DNF'd one of them as well. We can do a live show. It just probably wouldn't start until September. We can vote on days and times, that kind of thing. Or, like I said, if you would prefer to just sort of like have me give a longer spoiler review of certain books, and then we can discuss them in the comments, and again, it would be a private video for the book club members. You do not have to watch any ads, that kind of thing. We can do that too. Let me know what you would prefer, but like I said, we do have the April book club, which was Minimum Wage Magic, urban fantasy, sci-fi fantasy. I'm currently reading it and enjoying it because I started doing that recently. We also have the May book club pick, which was After the Forest by Kel Woods. Personally, that's the one I DNF'd, and it is because it is a sort of fantasy, but the way that it's written is not my thing. So I'm not saying it's a bad book. Again, we can go into this in depth. I'm sure some people that are in my book club would actually really enjoy this one. It just wasn't for me. But that's another one that, again, I can either do a video for, or we can schedule a book club meeting for like September. And then we also have the June book club pick, which was Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki. I have not started reading this one yet because I wanted to finish Minimum Wage Magic first, but I do want to read this one still. So again, going into September, maybe even October by this time, if we want to do the actual live show discussions, that's what we're looking at. So again, leave me a comment down below. I will also post on Patreon in the Discord for people to vote. Let me know what you would like to do. Would you like us to actually schedule the book club meetings? Because I am 100% down for that. It's just, we're not going to be able to start scheduling those until like September. So there is still a little bit of a wait for those. Because of that, now let's get into what I'm thinking for the rest of the year even. We skipped July's book club pick because of the fact that I was moving, and it's now like the very end of July. I'm also going to skip August because, again, I have 2 kids currently 24/7, and I do not think I can find enough time to read a whole nother book club pick and then also schedule the book club meeting because we're 3 months behind. So I think we're just going to give us 1 more month to get into September, to get us into that sort of headspace of like, let's actually do book club meetings, or however you guys want to do that, but like, let's pick that back up again because I'm very excited to discuss books with people, and I just haven't been able to do that yet. But what that means is there is no book club pick for August, so I did want to announce the official book club picks for the rest of the year. Starting with September. In September is actually going to be our indie book pick for the end of the year, and I picked New Witch on the Block by Louisa West. This is a book that I actually got during a Stuff Your Kindle event, so I got it for free. It is part of Kindle Unlimited, so if you have that, you can get it that way. But it's being billed as Practical Magic meets Gilmore Girls, which are 2 things I personally absolutely love. It is supposed to be more of a middle-aged sort of main character, which I think is interesting. She's pretty much going to be like a single mother in this book. It says she's trying to get away from like her ex. I don't know if he's necessarily abusive. We can definitely look into that. But it ends up being magic. There is some sort of magic here. Let me pull up the summary. And it says, she thought she was running away from her past, not catching up with it. Rosemary Bell just wants to live a quiet, happy life and raise her daughter as far away from her toxic ex-husband as she can get. But when they move to a decrepit cottage in the woods of Mosswood, Georgia, Rosie realizes her life will never be simple. A gang of meddling neighborhood do-gooders want to run her out of town. The vicious laundromat machines keep eating her spare change. Not to mention her buff Irish stalker who insists that he's a witch king and that it's her royal destiny to be his queen. And to top it all off, strange things keep happening around Rosie when she least expects it. She could deal with it all, but her ex won't rest until he tracks her down. When her ability to protect her daughter is threatened, Rosie shows them all that nobody messes with the new witch on the block. So again, it sounds like we're having some sort of magical system here. It is going to be more like contemporary besides that magic fact. But what really got me was the whole Practical Magic meets Gilmore Girls sort of thing. It sounds very intriguing. It does have a like very high 3-star rating on Goodreads. So it's going to be something that I think at least we're going to have a good discussion for, whether everybody loves it or not. So that is going to be our pick for September. A sort of contemporary witchy romance. Then moving into October, I have mentioned this book a couple times now on the channel because I really wanted to do it, and it's official. This is going to be our new book pick for the end of the year. It's going to be Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. I'm very much getting into that sort of creepy sort of mood because we are going into fall soon, even though I know it's still July, but it's overcast and sort of rainy outside, and so in my heart that is the vibe that I'm feeling. So October, Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. This is the same author that did Dead Silence, which is a sci-fi horror. This is going to be another sci-fi horror. I'm so excited to read this one because I absolutely love Dead Silence. I do know that one of you out there who is part of the book club DNF'd or hated. I don't remember if you actually finished it or not. Dead silence though. So if you decide to read Ghost Station with us, I think that'll be a very interesting discussion. So this is going to be the October pick. Like I said, it is new, so try and get your holds in with your library if you're doing it that way as soon as you can, but I am so excited about this one. Do I know anything else about this besides sci-fi horror? Not really. It says, an abandoned planet, a hidden past, a deadly danger. Psychologist Dr. Ophelia Bray has dedicated her life to the study and prevention of Eckhart-Reiser syndrome, ERS, the most famous case of which resulted in the brutal murders of 29 people. It's personal to her, and when she's assigned to a small exploration crew who recently suffered the tragic death of a colleague, she wants to help. But as they begin to establish residency on an abandoned planet, it becomes clear that the crew is hiding something. And Ophelia's crewmates are far more interested in investigating the eerie ancient planet and unraveling the mystery behind the previous colonizers' hasty departure than opening up to her. That is until their pilot is discovered gruesomely murdered. Is this Ophelia's worst nightmare starting, a wave of violence and mental deterioration from ERS? Or is it something even more sinister? Terrified that history will repeat itself, Ophelia and the crew must work together to figure out what's happening, but trust is hard to come by. And the crew members aren't the only ones keeping secrets. Like, I'm so ready for this. So this is October. Then moving into November, we're going to be reading The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. So again, this is going to be sort of creepy horror, but part of the reason I picked this is that November is actually Native American History Month as well, and this author is Native American. The story is going to be focusing around Native American characters. I've heard really good things about this. It's just I've never actually picked it up to read it. I've read some other Stephen Graham Jones that I have enjoyed, so I wanted to read this one. This one says, a tale of revenge, cultural identity, and the cost of breaking from tradition in this latest novel from the Jordan Peele of horror literature, Stephen Graham Jones. Seamlessly blending classic horror and a dramatic narrative with sharp social commentary, The Only Good Indians follows 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from their youth puts them in a desperate struggle for their lives. Tracked by an entity bent on revenge, these childhood friends are helpless as the culture and traditions they left behind catch up to them in a violent, vengeful way. So again, I don't know much else about this, but this is going to be our backlist pick because it has been out for a little while. How many years exactly should I have read this and I didn't? Originally came out in 2020, so I mean, not a ton of years, but enough for me to feel bad that I haven't actually read it. So yes, this is going to be our November pick. Now, I don't have a book picked for December, mostly because everything that I've been picking and that I sort of feel like we have going on for September, October, and November are creepy or witchy or, you know, that fall feeling. I don't exactly want that feeling for December. I want something different. I do think cozy would be good, so like a cozy fantasy or even a contemporary story in some way. I'm gonna leave this up to you for the book club on Patreon. I'll put a question, I guess, also in the Discord for you guys to leave suggestions, and we can do a vote on it, or I can just pick one, however we want to do that. But I would like to hear what you guys would also like to read for the end of the year, because I have been picking everything, which, I mean, I'm going to pick stuff that I want to read, obviously, and I hope you guys come with me on the journey, but I'm curious to see what you would pick if you had a choice to pick the book club pick. So December is still a little bit up in the air. We will have more updates on Patreon and Discord and everything like that. But besides that, I think that is everything for today. Bookmarks are going out. We will still have book club meetings or dedicated videos, however you guys want to do it. It just probably wouldn't be until closer to September. We are going to catch up on those. And then we have our new book club picks for the rest of the year, minus December, because you do need to leave me some book suggestions. But that is going to be it for today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays, so I will see you then. Bye!